Hello, my name is John Rosebush. I'm the founder, the CEO, and the president of the Worldwide Development Corporation. I've created a new energy invention that has the capability to power this planet 15,000 times over. Yeah, you heard it right, 15,000 times over. Has the ability to generate 100,000 terawatts of electricity worldwide, distributed widely across this entire planet. Today, the world generates about 7 terawatts of electricity. I'm very excited about this video. I'm going to talk about the capabilities of this new energy invention, which I have never done in public. And there's many reasons for it, but let's get into it. This first thing we did with this new energy invention is unitize it. We broke it up into 1 gigawatt energy installations. Why 1 gigawatt? Because we felt it was very easily distributable. We could have actually made larger, but we decided 1 gigawatt. It's also for the engineering disciplines on the amount of torque, etc., that we felt that the world would be comfortable with. This new energy invention has the capability to generate 1.5 billion foot-pounds of torque. Now, that's 2 gigawatts of electricity. By the way, there is 2 power units for every single energy installation. Each unit is capable of generating 750 million foot-pounds of torque. Now, we cut that in half so we could get down to 1 gigawatt. We did it for mechanical losses to be very conservative. If there's going to be any surprises, we think it's to the upside. We also wanted to make sure when we unitized it that we made all the engineering the same for 90% of it. We also made sure all the fabrication was the same, and et cetera, et cetera. The only thing that will be different will be site preparation work. This makes it very, very fast ability to implement this around the world. The next thing I want to discuss, distribution capabilities. People think I need rivers for this new energy invention to operate. False. We have the capability to create fake rivers that are circular. Okay? In other words, like a lazy river for the people who have ever been to a water park, etc. And then we can power these units from that. That means the distribution capabilities of this can go anywhere. We can put it on an island, in the middle of a desert, around cities, etc. So think about it, folks. Between the unitizing and the ability to distribute it anywhere, we can set up the entire world with tiny grids all around the entire world. Tiny grids. We don't need large grids. If we overlap these units, we have backup capabilities not only within the unit because of 2 power units, but also because we've overlapped the units. This allows total backup around the world. This is very, very, very powerful. Now, let's get into the ability for backup. What we did was, when we first started out, we decided that we would take these generators and we'd create, we'd run it off 100 megawatt generators. But after we thought about it for a while, we realized the electricity grid demand goes up and down. So what we can do is we can take these generators and add 50 megawatt generators, 25 megawatt generators, 5 megawatt generators, and 1 megawatt generators to these units. Okay? So we now have the ability to change how much energy output this new energy invention has. That's extremely powerful, folks. What that does is it allows us to match up demand and power generation. In other words, it can operate the grids automatically, because these generators will be hooked to clutches. That's how we started out in the first place. So when we first started, we said, well, what we're able to do is if we have a bad generator, we'll unclutch that and we'll clutch in a new one already installed, so we reduce the downtime. But this now allows us to do what? It allows us to manage our energy units with the demand on the grids. So guess what? We don't need any human intervention. We should be able to power this planet in normal circumstances without any humans whatsoever, if we set up our grids properly and install these new energy units based on science. Because this new energy invention is cheaper than any other energy generation that's out there, period, by a long shot. $400 million a gigawatt makes nuclear, intermittent energy, even coal seem to be silly, okay? So that's why we think we will power the entire planet with this new energy invention. Now, I didn't want to talk about this because it's so disruptive around the world. By the way, we can also set up centers around the world for jurisdictions that have the capability to, informational-wise, look at all these particular grids and these power units, energy generation units around the world. So that way they're informed, but they don't need to operate. Not even the people that will be at the energy installations themselves will need to operate unless there's an emergency. In other words, they'll operate themselves. This is the 21st century, folks. This is not science fiction. This is real. Now, I was afraid to discuss this openly because of the disruptive nature of it. But if we do the other things necessary to have a sustainable planet for our children and grandchildren, like build recycle centers everywhere around the world, in every city, everywhere, to recycle oil products, then that employment will make up for this. Plus installing this, plus decommissioning all the stuff that we have out there, we'll have plenty of work for everybody. So I'm not afraid of the employment. People that are afraid of this are afraid of change. This is not science fiction. I have a prototype, I have 3D drawings, I have everything needed, the power projections, the engineering, everything will show this thing operates and can do as I claim. I created the United Nations Challenge for that reason, to get rid of all skepticism. But it continues. I don't really think it's skepticism. I think it's more fear, and I think it's more people attempting to duplicate what I've done. They're not going to be able to do it. I mean, it's been 2 or 3 years now, and I know that there's companies out there trying to duplicate what I've done. Good luck. And by the way, even if you did, do you really plan to make a lot of money in this? I don't. This is too powerful. It's way too powerful. And who would want to anyway? The idea is that we redistribute money around the world to poorer countries, to the world, to make it a fair and balanced world where it's a bright future for our children and grandchildren. The idea of greed to fall into this new energy invention doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I've been to the United Nations. All I've seen was politics. They said they couldn't partner with me because their charter don't allow it. Imagine United Nations not being able to partner on something this powerful. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I've talked to other countries. I'm just going to say one, even though, India's been, I've been trying to work with India. The idea that countries are saying, well, we're not sure, we haven't seen it, etc., is a little silly. This new intervention is real. It's so real. The only thing I'm doing is waiting on world leaders to step up. To step up. For your kids and grandkids. Not asking for money should be a no-brainer. We can change this world. We can create a 21st century planet that is sustainable forever with very few changes. Well, this is very disruptive. But in between this and building recycle centers to recycle all oil products, because oil is going to be needed in the future. I've talked about it in many videos. I'm reminding you of that here. Modern society depends on oil. That's how we make plastics, asphalt, tires, shingles, 7,000 products in the United States. It's needed. It's needed for future generations. It's not only do we need to stop consuming oil, we need to recycle all oil products to preserve the rest of the oil. And by the way, this new energy invention can power all our land transportation very quickly. Electric vehicles, hydrogen, they have hydrogen pumps that look very similar to a gasoline pump. We can convert our vehicles to run off hydrogen very similar to a natural gas conversion. No more need for oil and gas, for gasoline and diesel to power our vehicles. 25 cents a gallon equivalent, almost unlimited energy for transportation. So when we set up these grids based on science, what we need to do is make sure that we have expansion capabilities for transportation alternative fuels. This can easily be done. I'm waiting. The only thing I'm waiting on is for leaders of the world to step up, to create a future for our children and grandchildren. Something I've always liked to say, this new energy invention makes anything possible anywhere on the planet. I thank you for your time, and make sure you have a great day.